Everyone ready? No latecomers? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for being here for today's head-to-head press conference, where Sam Kynock, on behalf of MGM Scotland, presents World Championship Boxing at the Lagoon Centre in Paisley, here in Bonnie, Scotland, this Saturday the 3rd of December. We have ended up with what a fantastic bill this Saturday. What was already a good trade show that Sam had put together, featuring some great talents, Stephen Lewis, Stephen Orland, and a few of the guys that are here, who Sam will talk about shortly, here today on the top table, has been elevated to a World Championship night of boxing, plus two other rising stars of the world scene. It's a treat for the local fans. It's something that probably wasn't expected a couple of weeks ago. So here to talk about, Saturday's card is Sam Kynock, and as I said, four of the guys that are on here on Saturday. But I'm very, very proud to say that we're here with Billy Joe Saunders, who'll be defending his WBO middleweight world championship against Artur Akavov. Also on the card, we've got Jack Cattrall, who will be fighting for the WBO Intercontinental Super Lightweight Championship, and also Paul Butler, who is one or two fights away from challenging for a world title. So these are pivotal fights in all the three of the fighters that were represented by Queensbury Promotions that are fighting this Saturday. But also obviously for the guys who are already on the card that Sam's put together, and he's going to say a few words about those guys now. Thanks.
Thank you, Francis. Just to reiterate what Francis has said, this is a great card. I believe it's one of the best in Scotland in several years, certainly in my recent memory. Looking through the bill, it's star-studded, obviously headline now by Billy Joe, which is a great addition to the card. And just to run through some of the undercard boxers and introduce some of the Scottish boxers who are getting a great platform on Box Nation. First up, we've got Paul Keane from Dundee, having just his second professional contest against William Warburton. Francis remarked to me earlier, are you sure about that one? And we've got great confidence in Paul's boxing ability. William's a great journeyman, a very good boxer, but full confidence in Paul's abilities. Just, Paul, a few words from yourself, please.
Just, I'm happy to be part of such a big show, you know what I mean? Especially after my second fight. It's just, Sam's done really well for us, and I'm pleasant to be part of it, really, you know what I mean? Signing with these guys just spurs me on, you know what I mean? Pushing into the pro ranks and hopefully do well on Saturday night.
Thanks, Paul. Next up, we've got another boxer having just his second contest from Glasgow via Kenya. Ahmed Ibrahim made a very good debut in October, very strong points win, and he's having his second contest against a Scottish-based Giuseppe Di Prato on Saturday night. So if you say a few words, please, Ahmed.
Yeah, just can't wait for Saturday night, step out again for my second pro fight. Done well on my first one, so just thought I have a good show for my second one again. Can't wait.
That's a hell of a local derby, that one.
Yeah, the name's a bit deceptive, Di Prato, but yeah, he's based just along the road in Dunfermline, so two Scottish boxers in the ring together. The next boxer we have on the table here is Thomas Dixon. He's on the comeback trail, having lost his first contest, won his first five, lost his last one on points, and he's looking to bounce back. A few words from you, Thomas?
Yeah, feeling good. Just good to be part of such a huge show. So just go use the platform, use it properly, get performance.
Also joining us on the top table is Dubliner John O'Carroll, former prizefighter champion, recently joined the MGM stable. This will be his third contest in quick succession in the MGM stable, boxing 8 rounds against an opponent with a positive 9-3 record. So a good test for Jono, who's been doing the last bit of his training camp up here in Scotland. It's been a pleasure to have him here. So a few words from you, Jono.
Yeah, I'm just delighted to be on a big bill, being on TV again. It's just gives you that bit more incentive to impress, But since I've been with MGM, I've just rolling in the fights. I've been with MGM now 4 months. It's going to be my third fight, so I'm keeping active. I'm sharp as I've ever been, probably fit as I've ever been. I trained like this was going to be for a title, so I prepared for a 10-rounder. So an 8-rounder is going to be a good night's work for me, I'll be looking to impress come Saturday night.
Thanks, John. Keeping the Irish theme, we've got an excellent contest in the form of Dublin's Stephen Ormond against Zoltan Szabo. Szabo knocked out Stephen Ormond on our last Box Nation event on the 1st of October. So Stephen's bounced back with a win on the Box Nation broadcast event in Belfast, and now he's looking to avenge that defeat. So that's a good international lightweight contest over 8 rounds. Also on the bill and not present today, we have Ian Butcher, former British title challenger. In his last contest at flyweight, he defeated reigning Commonwealth champion Thomas Asomba. He's now stepping up to Superfly for the first time. He will be in action against a Mexican who's based in Spain, a very able opponent, and that will be a 6-round contest. We've also got Edinburgh's Tommy Philbin, who's 6-0. He's taking a step up against Kelvin Young. Kelvin comes to the ring 18-7-2, so considerably more experience. That's a good step up for Tommy. And finally, make up the bill, we've got Ross Murray from Glasgow, who's 3-0, scored a knockout win at the Hydro on his last outing, and he's looking to build on that against Sergei Tasimov down at flyweight. And that makes up the undercard for...
That is an information bomb. Thank you very much, Sam.
You're welcome.
I'm just going to briefly just say a couple of words about Paul Butler and Jack Catterall. Obviously, Paul, he was 22-1, former world champion, IBF world champion. He'll be 10-3s obviously at bantamweight. Fighting another South American. He's becoming, he's making a habit of taking out these South Americans, and he's going to have to keep doing that because obviously some of the guys that he's chasing after from that part of the world, and if he wants to get back on the on the world title scene, he's going to have to keep doing what he's doing. But he's 1 or 2 fights away from that world title shot, back up to where he belongs, I believe. One of the most naturally gifted fighters we've got in this country, and obviously he'll be looking to impress on Saturday. Jack Catterall will be looking to continue his rise and his development. As you might have seen the other day, we've just signed Tyrone Nurse, who's, and that fight is one that I think we can make, in a few fights' time. So obviously Tyrone keep an eye on Jack and see how he deals with a very, very tricky contender from Argentina, 23-1 with 10 knockouts, so he can punch a bit, very experienced. But a win for Jack will continue his rise up the world rankings. So good luck to both of those guys, and good luck to all the guys on the card. But for the main event, very, very delighted to see Billy back on a top table. Only 2 days out from actually getting in the ring again. It's been a long year. It's been a frustrating year for Bill, and he's obviously, considering who he had to beat to win a world title, the fact he's not made a defence yet makes it even more frustrating. Bill's always stepped up when he's needed to, and he's always raised his game as the opponents have got tougher and tougher, and none more so than on the night when he won the world title against Andy Lee. That close to stopping him very early on in the fight, and had he done that, I don't think people would be knocking Bill like they sometimes do. I think he deserves this world title, and he's going to have to, obviously, he's going to show us on Saturday that, Artur Akavov, okay, fair, appreciate him coming over, and I appreciate the fact that he's going to step up, and he's not coming over here to make up the numbers, but I think Bill's got the bit between his teeth, and he's got to put on a good display on Saturday, because there are some huge, huge fights for him next year. And we're not talking about going over old ground anymore. We're looking at going, making moves going forward, and we are talking Golovkins, we are talking Canelos, and they're the fights Billy wants. They're the skill set that Billy Joe Saunders' level is at, and that is the determination and the ambition that Billy's got will get him into a position where he is fighting one of those guys next year, early part of next year. But if he takes his eye off the ball this Saturday, then it will all go up in smoke. So obviously he's got to make the most of the fact that he can put on a good display on Saturday and show everybody what they've been missing. Would have been on last weekend in Cardiff, on no disrespect to the Lagoon Centre, but it would have been a much bigger show in Cardiff last weekend. But what Cardiff's loss is Paisley's gain. So you will be seeing a world title fight on Saturday, featuring certainly one of the top world champions, that we have on, certainly in the UK and beyond. I'd like to ask Mr. Akavov if you'd like to say a few words before we introduce Billy Joe Saunders.
Yes. My name is Artur. Billy Joe Saunders is champion, and thank him. He gave me a chance came here for winning the title, and after tomorrow, I will do my work. Best work. My English is little.
Very good. Thank you, Arthur. So to the WBO middleweight world champion, Billy Joe Saunders.
Right. First of all, I'd just like to thank MGM for sorting the show out for me so late on. My team, the Warrants. Look, Artur Akavov, he is what he is. I'm not overlooking him, but you know, I know where I belong, and I belong at elite level. I've been on the phone to Frank and my management every other week, talking about the big fights. We were in talks with Canelo, but he don't want no part of it as of yet. So I've got a job to do Saturday night before I look at the big fights. I will take care of him in style, then I'll be moving on to bigger and better things.
Thank you very much, Bill. I'm sure you'll all share the same feeling. It's great to see Billy back, and looking forward to obviously seeing him on Saturday night, plus all the other guys. Just like to open the floor to any questions, please. Don't all rush.
Billy Joe, how have you been gearing up in Glasgow for this fight?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I come to Glasgow when Kevin Mitchell boxed Ricky Burns, and I remember coming up here for the weekend. It was a good atmosphere at the SCC, is it? SECC, and yeah, thank you. And you know, the fight fans out there, it was good. It was a buzz of atmosphere that night, and I just look forward to coming back. And I've been out in Spain there for 6 weeks, so it was nice to get back into the UK. And you know, I'm here fight week. I've been here since Saturday, and I'll be going home Sunday. So I'm loving Glasgow, and I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'm more of a Celtic fan as well. Yeah. So who's Celtic?
That's just got their faces in half, seen that?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Well, I didn't know what to say, but I've got a Celtic shirt with Saunders on the back, so I'm sorry.
Nothing. Anyone else?
I see your comments to you back on Twitter, and I see his reply. What's your reply to that?
Look, you know, me and him obviously, we don't like each other for whatever reason, but I've got no, I just put on there that it was 2 years since then. I looked on my Facebook and it reminded me, and I thought, God, that's gone quick, so I just put it on Twitter. Then he decided to comment back and just got a silly little argument. But like I say, you know, I've beat him 2 years ago now. I've got nothing to prove to him. Like I say, he was offered a 7-figure number to fight me and turn it down, let alone turning down £2 million of fighting for Golovkin. So he don't want to fight no champions, he just wants to fight people, you know, who he knows he can handle. So yeah, so he's put at the back of the pile. He vacated his British title, so we're in different leagues at the minute.
Fact and offer was sent to Team Eubank only 2 weeks ago. No reply. So you make of that what you will. Billy, like I said, you know, Billy Joe's not interested in going over old ground. Keep worrying about what other people are doing, unless it's going to enhance his career. And going to bash up Chris Eubank Jr. again, you know, he's already done it once. Convincingly.
Well, I'm sure it's a fight. You know, what the fans want to see, but you know, I want to concentrate on America now and test myself to see how good I am. I've beat everybody in the UK. I've proved myself from Southern era to Commonwealth, British, European, world. So I just want to test my own self and my own mind, you know, because I don't want to be there when I'm retired thinking, should have had that chance, should have, would have. I want to test myself, see how good I am. Chuck me in the deep water, see if I can swim. We'll see.
How frustrating has the last year been, Billy, with injury problems after winning the title?
Yeah, I mean, when I won the title in December last year, I mean, I didn't think that I would be out a year, but I had a show booked in for April, picked up a wrist injury, tried to rush it back, and to be honest with you, it's the worst thing I did because, you know, I tried to rush sparring back and it just made it worse, and that knocked me back for another 2 months, coming on 3 months, but I was told to rest it up, and I wouldn't need operation, which I took the advice and thank God I didn't. But then we was in talks with Canelo's team to fight Canelo. I was supposed to fight an American journeyman really in Rosado. I mean, that's all he is. No disrespect to him, but he's lost 10, 11 fights, whatever he's lost. And but the reward was I go over there and fight him on their show, but they give me the Canelo fight, and they didn't want to do that. They just wanted me to go over there and for a chance of the man winning the world title, so they could give it to Canelo. But obviously that didn't happen. So, you know, we are where we are. We're a year down the road. You know, I'm just thankful I'm out now, first defence, and hopefully 2017 will be a lot more busier for me. Well, I know it will.
See you looking ahead to 2017? Personal preference? If you had the choice, Canelo or Golovkin would be your number one?
Well, listen, my opinion is that I beat Canelo comfortable. Golovkin is the best on the planet. I've always said, I said 2 years ago that I would like time for him, and I said 18 months, it's been 2 years. That's not for experience, because, you know, what more experience do I want? I was in the Olympic Games at 18. I've won every title you can. I've achieved everything. If I wanted to give up boxing tomorrow, I'll be a happy man. So let's test myself. I want Golovkin, and he keeps on about he wants my belt. I want his belts. So let's get it on. But like I said, no disrespect to Artur Akavov, not overlooking him. I've got a job to do Saturday. That's his big chance. Obviously, if he wins, then he's in the big bucks, and he's living the dream, isn't he? So I can't overlook him.
We've heard that Tyson Fury's going to be in your corner. Is that true?
Tyson Fury is probably about 10 minutes away. He's on his way up. He was supposed to come up the other day, but I don't know what happened. He had some sort of puncher again or something. But yeah, he's on his way up. He should be here now. So he's coming up, and he'll be walking the belt up, Tyson Fury.
He's put his Batman outfit on outside. Well done, ladies and gents. If you can't make it down to the Lagoon Centre on Saturday, we are live and exclusive on Box Nation. But looking forward to seeing you all there, and thank you very much for coming. Cheers.